On to a few more lighthearted topics because I came in with the heavy stuff there. So, for the trans community, our good sis Laverne Cox, who is, best known for her role as Sophia Brissett in Orange is the New Black. She recently was also the lead actor in the show Clean Slate. Laverne Cox reveals she dated a blue-eyed MAGA Republican ex-cop.
My ex-boyfriend, when we met 5 years ago at the height of the pandemic, he was 26, I was 48. He is blonde-haired, blue-eyed, MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. We were madly in love. I did not develop any of his politics. I still have my own. Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was 22 years younger than me, hot MAGA Republican New York City police officer. Yeah. To hear more about that, come to my show at City Winery in New York City, July 28th. It's a Monday, show time 8 p.m.
For 3 years. And he was, he was a Republican voter. So this is shocking a lot of fans. And this article was provided to me. I'm using out.com's article. The article was written by Mayrude. Cox is facing backlash after revealing this particular relationship. Before we get into the story, I just want to say that Cox is facing backlash because she's a Black trans woman. So let's go ahead and let's get up into it because the girls are gagged. The girlies are gagged. Okay, the girls are gagged. And I'm gagged too, even as a journalist. Let's go ahead and let's get into this report here. Laverne Cox has opened up about her love life, and many of her fans are feeling betrayed. And a teaser for her upcoming one-woman show called Girl, How Did I Get Here? Cox revealed that she was in a relationship with a quote-unquote blonde-haired, blue-eyed MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer for nearly 4 years. Whew. Yeah, the girls are talking about this one. This is shaking it up. Cox said, I gotta promote this show. Let's get back into the article here. Cox's one-woman show opens up July 28th at City Winery in New York City. She teased that she would be talking about her former relationships, including with a man who was 22 years younger than her. Here's a quote from her. "We were madly in love. I did not develop any of his politics. I still have my own," she said, in which we just saw in the video. Reading the article here from out.com. Continuing. Cox's followers and fans quickly responded. Many felt betrayed that Cox would form such a long relationship with someone who voted for and supported a transphobic, racist, fascist president and works for an institution that has targeted Black and trans people for over 100 years. You saw what she said in the video. This is according to a follower on Instagram expressing their concerns because I'm gagged. I'm not gonna hold you. And the reason I'm gagged, okay, is because Laverne, not to call her out, this is not an expose messy show, although we are lightly covering some fun celebrity gossip adjacent topics here. I'm not calling her out. I'm not disrespecting her. I actually admire her a lot, okay? But the girls are calling her out, okay? The girls are calling her out and side-eyeing her, okay? They're pulling off the glasses, okay? They're doing like this, side-eyeing her, okay? Hopefully I wasn't cockeyed when I did that, okay? No, but they're side-eyeing her. They're side-eyeing her. Okay, so here's what one of the fans said. They put in a quote, "We were in love," mimicking Cox. She put, "You sure about that, sis? When someone loves you, they honor and respect who you are, your experiences, and will fight for your right to exist. His politics say otherwise. Just tell us the D was good. That's more believable." And that was according to Cognac129. And I said she earlier, and I used she, her pronouns for this fan or this person who was a commenter. I don't know their gender, so we're gonna say they. I take it back, you guys. Another follower or commenter or fan said, "So he voted against everything you are, and you're okay with that?" Cox caught wind of these particular comments and she followed up with an over 50-minute Instagram live session where she opened up further about the relationship, her reasons for being in that relationship, and the criticisms she was receiving from fans. In the video, Cox acknowledged that the children are gagging about the relationship and she didn't expect the reactions to be so extreme.
And the children are gagging that my ex-boyfriend, the MAGA Republican, Trump voting cop, people are gagging. People are gagging in the comments. And I don't know, I didn't really think about what the reaction would be. I just was like telling the truth about it, teasing the show. It is a big part of the show that I'm doing at City Winery a week from today. That relationship, what the relationship was like, how we attempted to navigate our differences politically, but for the record, when we met on Tinder, when we matched on Tinder, I didn't know what he did for a living. I didn't know his politics. We were just chatting. He actually, told me he did something else. I'll explain. If you come to the show, I'll explain in the show. And I was in love. One of the comments was like, just say it was about the D. That was lovely too. It was lovely. But I'm a grown woman. I'm like, okay, I'm a grown woman. I've lived. I am not going to date someone for like 4 years because of the D or because of something superficial about how he looks. He has a beautiful soul and has really beautiful qualities, and I was in love. And as I found out his job and his politics, particularly in 2020, if you recall, we were having conversations really for the first time in this country about white supremacy and trying to have conversations with people across difference. And anyone who knows me, like for years, I've always encouraged people to have conversations with people across difference with love and empathy. That is a value of mine that I strongly believe in, and that is something I attempted to do in this relationship, and that's a lot of what the show is about, in addition to like, how did I get here? And then things get very complicated. It's not, I don't want to give away what happened in our relationship. You should come to the show and find out if you can. But I do want to say that reading the comments, and I get it, it feels like a lot of people in the comment section are dehumanizing people who have different political beliefs than they do. And I see that all over social media. I see that all over the media. If someone has different political beliefs.
She explained that she met her boyfriend on Tinder, and when they started dating, she didn't know his political views or his profession, but fell in love with him as a person. In the video, she said he has a beautiful soul and has really beautiful qualities. When his beliefs came out, Cox felt a strong connection and was attempting to see his humanity beyond his politics. When I did this, I'm not throwing shade. I'm doing that for quotes, okay? I support Laverne. She also acknowledged that maybe she was being naive in the relationship. So we're going to stop there. This is causing, a lot of fans to be really upset. The reason why fans are upset is because Laverne Cox, she has been very outspoken, she is one of the most, probably the most famous Black trans women that are, on the scene right now, right along with T.S. Madison, MJ Rodriguez, and a few others who are really doing amazing work, who have access to mainstream media and are working in the industry on camera. So a lot of people are shocked because of who she is and how she advocates for being against the system and calling out the system repeatedly, right? Journalists hat off. The girls are gagged. The girls are gagged. But here's the thing. Journalists hat off. This is just my opinion, my commentary. Being a trans woman is hard. And, I don't have an issue with interracial love. Now, I know that there are some people who are gagged, you know, because of how outspoken she is, but she's still a black trans woman. She can still advocate for the black community and the trans community. I just think that a lot of the girls are shocked because of how she's been so against the system. Now, some of the, when I say the girls, I mean the trans community that I'm saying, because I've been watching some of the girls talk about it. Shout out to you, Diamond Styles, okay?
Hey, I need you to listen. We are not used to seeing rich black trans women. We're not used to seeing that. We're just now having this type of breed of black trans women come to the forefront because of that renaissance that we had in the past 10 years. A lot of the black trans women that y'all know are broke and low class. Now, I know that sounds harsh, and when I say low class, I don't mean respectability politics, like you're techie, da-da-da. No, I'm talking about low classes in working class or even lower. And they're broke. And who they are trying to impress is going to be different. So they're going to have a different set of ideals, maybe, okay? But a rich black trans woman, for her, a young stallion, a young white MAGA stallion, is going to look more high class on her arm. He is a class marker for her. He is the forbidden fruit that I'm not supposed to have as a black trans woman. It is almost like having a Birkin. Having a white, young, hot, blue-eyed, blonde hair, young 20-something, in the same way your older, rich white man would fetishize a young 20-something, hot, blonde girl. She's going to do that too. And so if I'm trying to give that high status image, just like I'm going to chase after a Birkin, I'm going to chase after the most masculine white partner, which is going to be the conservative MAGA young guy. Because as a black trans woman, I'm not supposed to have that. And I think if you look at it that way, you can kind of understand it more. Because I think y'all are confused by it because y'all, I don't want to say we, but many of us are broke. So we are more invested in the politics. Oh, how dare you can't be in my bed and voting against my interests. But for a rich person, that actually makes me look good. That's my Birkin. Especially if I'm invested in those ideals. And in everyday life, I benefit from him being on my arm because I look like I have a Birkin on my arm. I look good because I have a young, hot, white, blonde, hot guy on my arm, especially to my circle of people. And I look better with him on my arm to my circle of people because he gives more of that status, that highlighted status. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like carrying a Birkin. If I had Tyrone on my arm, it would be like me carrying a Coach, a Michael Kors. It would be like me carrying, and even if I had a nice, lawyer, educated, successful Tyrone, that would be more like a Louis Vuitton. It won't be a Hermes. This white, MAGA, young, hot, blue-eyed guy that I'm swooning over is a Birkin. And because us broke people can't afford Birkin, we don't care about no Birkin. There is an investment in those gender roles, in the high-class gender roles, that I can just be a rich woman. I want to be a trad wife because that affirms my gender. Being the black trans Nara Smith in my, multi-million-dollar condo, baby, with my white little gardener boy, my masculine performing New York cop dude coming in the house that affirms me. Is it weird? Absolutely. I'm just explaining it. I'm not trying to make it seem less weird. It's weird as hell. But I want y'all to know that we've seen this before. We've seen this reasoning before. Anytime we see a rich, Kanye West, he goes from having a brown woman from Chicago to multiple Birkins. What makes him look good as a rich male celebrity, especially to the people that he's trying to impress. When he was trying to impress the hip hop niggas, he went and got him a light skin, almost white, biracial, because he knew this is the Birkin of the black community. This light skin, thick red bone. That's going to make the niggas go crazy. That's going to put me on the next status. But when I'm trying to impress these Jewish Jewish or white or whatever they identify now, when I want to impress these fashion gods, I need an actual white. Yeah, we've seen this before. You need somebody that is a Birkin. And so for a black trans woman, that translates to a MAGA Birkin. A blue-eyed white MAGA Birkin.
But, there were some comments about Laverne Cox. She is from Alabama, from Mobile, Alabama. She speaks in a very, she doesn't have a Southern dialect, right? Like, she doesn't speak like a country girl. There aren't really any hints of that. She speaks like a New York girl. Like you could hear the New York in her voice. She speaks very proper. And some black folk might even say that she speaks like a white person. You know what I mean? That is some of the criticism that she gets. I mean, I even watched the podcast that she did with T.S. Madison, which I loved, by the way. And Madison was like, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here because we get to see you with us. You get me? Because you have crossed over into the white mainstream platforms, audiences. She works for those corporations. She is the one who's getting booked for stuff because of her name. The girls are gagged. I'm not surprised. Actually, no, I'll take that back. I am surprised by this. I remember she was with a short little white man who was younger than her, and they were together for a while. They were together for a long time. I think that's the one she's talking about. I forgot his name. But they were together for a long time, and she didn't really say, to my knowledge, why they broke up. I do follow Laverne Cox because I do support her. As one of the girls, it's not a lot of us out there who were, doing the amazing work and actually being paid and stuff for it. So a lot of us support her. Me personally, I'm not against interracial love, but I'm shocked that she would pick a MAGA supporter. That has me a bit gagged because it's true. MAGA people definitely, Republicans, especially someone who's, MAGA, definitely vote against her entire being. But, what's interesting about it is that Laverne was able to separate the two, right? And she was like, well, this man's so loving up on me. We're not going to let the politics get in the way of this. I got my man. I got my boo. I'm with my man. It's interesting because we see cisgender women do it all the time. When I say cisgender, I'm meaning the opposite of transgender. And if you get upset about it, you could drop in the comments. But cisgender is not an offensive term. You should not be offended by it, okay? It basically means you're the opposite of trans. We're going to have a little educational moment here, okay? But for the ones who get upset, I'll probably say, non-trans women get to do it all the time. I don't want to say get to do it, but they do it all the time. I mean, case in point, there are a lot of white women who still are with their husbands, despite their white husbands voting for our president, right? And having his political beliefs, they decided to stay in the marriage. A lot of white women do it. And there are a lot of other women of other races who are all other races as well, not just white people, because I always tell people it's not just white people. There are other people who voted for Trump as well. There are black people who voted for Trump. There are Latino people who voted for Trump. There are Asian people, Indian people who voted for Donald Trump, right? So there are a lot of people who deal with men who have beliefs that are either homophobic, transphobic, or misogynistic, right? It's interesting though, because when I see non-trans women who deal with men like that, I'm kind of like, how could you deal with a man like that, right? But when you really think about it, there are a lot of, let me not generalize here, but it's safe to say that there are some men that are homophobic and transphobic, right? So this is really interesting. But Laverne, you really gagged the girls. You gagged us with this tea for your show. You better. She better play into it. It's just interesting because she was on T.S. Madison's show saying how she doesn't really fit in with black audiences and how she doesn't translate to black audiences. Then she leans into this to promote her show. She said, let me come in and cause a little controversy. You better do this PR stunt, girl. This is full on PR. Sorry, I have allergies, so my nose gets itchy. She is doing PR. You better. It's just questionable. It might hurt your credit. It might hurt her fan base a little bit. I don't know. It might hurt her fan base, but she ain't mad, girl. She got her a white man who has some money because he's a cop. Okay, he got some coins. Although he's invested in a system that is completely against you, baby girl. I think that's the thing that's shocking people. And once again, I'm not against interracial love. Look, once again, as a trans woman, we can see that it is difficult for a trans woman, especially black trans women, or any trans woman at that, but in particular, a black trans woman to find love. I'm not defending her dating a House, a Republican, a MAGA Republican voter, ex-cop, or whatever he is, right? I'm not defending it. But what I am saying is that it's difficult to date. We've never seen Laverne Cox with a black man openly. We've not seen that. I'm sure she has dated black men before. A lot of black men struggle with that. A lot of black men, there are black men who still struggle with being gay, although there are more black men who are coming out about being gay and bisexual now. In the black community, it is such a struggle for black men to openly date black trans women. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because it does happen. But you know, it's something that it's a struggle for our community. That's just the facts of it, right? So I'm shocked about her saying this now, but I fully see why she's doing it. And Mama is leaning into that PR. Drop down below and let me know what you think about this. Whew, she is shaking us up. Wow, I'm gagged.